Shirai, the charismatic enigma here, and you are watching the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast.
Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, some rosy on the wood. Standing on the shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, something rosy on the wood. And bitch, I got the belt so you just get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Big ol' fire, I'm turning. Big ol' wood, I'm burning.
Big ol', I put her in. Plus, you know, I'm about to give it that way. Yeah, she in that living like China. I'm in my stripes and referee. I put a ring on the Stephanie. Me and my team is building a legacy, winning the gold separately.
Rolly the fan is playing.
Bitch, I'm that
Damn good. Smoking on some good, some rosy on the wood. Standing on the shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Yeah, yo! It's been a minute. Yo! Something feels really weird. Something feels really off. I feel like don't even worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast. We are back in studio for the first time in 2 weeks. This is the last wrestling episode of season 2, the last weekly wrestling report of season 2. Of course, I am your host. Well, for those of you that don't know me, we do have quite a few new subscribers, so welcome everybody to my channel. I am your host, the illustrious, your role model. You already know, the blueprint, Dame Don. And so since I haven't been here for 2 weeks, we are going to try to cover everything that I've missed in the last 2 weeks. I was supposed to drop this episode on Friday. As you all probably know by now, Friday, Vince McMahon retired. Then I was going to do the episode after he made his announcement. And then literally as soon as I sat down to record, it was announced that Stephanie was going to be opening SmackDown. So I'm like, at this point, I just need to fucking wait. And then I didn't record on Saturday because Saturday is fucking Saturday. I've been drunk since Friday. I don't know, like I'm so stressed out. But a couple of things we are going to cover. Liv Morgan won the title. Is Io Shirai leaving WWE? Jade Cargill, 500 days undefeated. Mandy Rhodes passing Charlotte Flair's streak as NXT Women's Champion. We're going to talk about Logan Paul. We're going to talk about Liv Morgan and Austin Theory winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Of course, Liv has cashed in already. And then we will talk about just the changes with, Vince coming in or Triple H and Stephanie coming in and Nick Khan kind of being co-CEOs with Stephanie. So we're going to try to talk about all of that. All of that. We have so much to fucking cover. Let's just jump right in. But before we just jump right in, Jade Cargill followed me on Instagram. Jade legitimately followed me on Instagram, and we talk like once a week. When you see Jade on TV and she is undeniably that bitch and she is that bitch show, you wouldn't really expect Jade to reply to your DMs or anything of that nature, but I can confirm that Jade is actually the exact opposite of what you think she is. And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this because I don't want to ruin, who she is or her persona on TV, but she just seems like so down to earth when you talk to her. Like, even the fact that she opens DMs, replies to DMs, it's just like little shit. She's just like the exact opposite of what you would think that she is. But shout out to Jade. Jade Cargill followed me on Instagram. 500 days undefeated. She is 1 week away from being 200 days as TBS champion. She will be TBS champion for 200 days come, I believe, July 27th or 28th, one of those two. Of course, my 1 year anniversary episode is July 28th. Make sure you all check in for that. I will have a haircut and look a lot better. But anyway, moving right along, there have been reports that Io Shirai may be leaving WWE. There's also been reports that she may be staying with WWE if she can get a main roster contract. For those of you that are new to the wrestling podcast, I take dirt sheets with a grain of salt. I've been saying this since the first episode. You can go back and look. I've been saying it for a very long time. I take dirt sheets with a grain of salt. Io Shirai did already go online on Twitter and debunk the rumor, saying rumors with like throwing up emojis, implying that it's all bullshit basically. And that's kind of how I take dirt sheets anyway. It's very much 80-20 with me. 80% I don't believe, 20% I do believe. It's very much 80-20. So the fact of Io Shirai leaving or coming back or needing more money or wanting to go to the main roster, I don't really know anything about that. We're just kind of going to have to see and then assume with what is reported, I suppose. But that has been on the table that Io Shirai may be leaving, and if she does stay, she wants top dollar main roster money. Bryan Danielson has been out for quite some time with a concussion. Tony Khan did say that if you can't go 8 straight days without a concussion, then you will not be cleared to wrestle. Bryan was not able to go 8 straight days for quite some time. Bryan did actually announce last night at the Comic-Con that he will be back in action this Wednesday on Dynamite Fyter Fest, whatever the fuck it's called. Bryan Danielson will return this Wednesday to action from this concussion, and I thank God, because we all know that Bryan has had these concussion ending injuries and just these concussion problems over his whole life. He actually was forced to retire by WWE because he lied about the amount of concussions he had, and he actually said that himself. He lied about the amount of concussions he had, and so he's had a lot of concussions. He's had a lot of issues with concussions. I really hope that, you know, he gets back in the ring and kind of goes back down to that WWE style that they were kind of making him do. They were kind of making him work a lot lighter, not doing as many high spots and things of that nature. And then he went back to AEW and was just kind of wrestling like he had never retired, doing way too much. Hopefully he goes back and does this return match and he actually, you know, wrestles like he has some sense and like he has retired. Because he has retired. I do know that I had to just switch to audio. I know this is probably like, what the fuck just happened? I don't know what the fuck just happened. My phone keeps overheating. It stopped the video twice. I was trying to be a good trooper and just kind of keep restarting the video, but it stops like every 3 or 4 minutes. So I don't really know what the fuck is going on. We are just going to completely ignore the fact that this started in video and is ending in audio, but we are going to keep going in audio. I'm so sorry. I tried to be in studio. We'll have this figured out by the 28th. So sorry. Moving right along, Thunder Rosa compared her rivalry with Britt Baker to Steve Austin and The Rock's rivalry. Like, is Thunder Rosa okay? And also, why doesn't Britt Baker just go to fucking WWE? Every other week, she is mentioning somebody in WWE, calling somebody out in WWE. Oh, Bayley's the best. Oh, the 4 Horsewomen. Oh, I would love to face Toni Storm. Oh, I would love to face Dakota Kai. Oh, I would love to face Sasha Banks. Like, just go to fucking WWE. Now you're calling out Bayley for a match. Like, obviously, Britt Baker wants to go to WWE. I don't know if she doesn't want to be there because of things she's heard or what the fuck the issue is. But every other week, she talks about, I feel like in more of her interviews, it's more highlighted around what she's mentioned about a WWE wrestler than her talking about her own company or talking about somebody in her own company. They always highlight the shit that she says about calling out Sasha or Dakota or Toni Storm, or they always highlight that. They never highlight the shit of you talking about your own company. At this point, you're putting over the WWE roster more than you're putting over the AEW women's roster, so just go there. I don't think I've ever heard her on an interview praise Jade Cargill. Like, or I know she's a heel, but so is Jade a heel. So what the fuck? I'm just kind of tired of Britt Baker. I really enjoyed Britt Baker at first, but you know, she just kind of seems like, you know, if there's a spotlight, she's going to it. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting from her. Speaking of spotlights and the attraction, the toxic attraction, one of the longest reigning NXT Women's Champions in history. Let's talk about God's greatest creation, the baddest bitch in the game. Mandy Rhodes has been absolutely killing it in NXT. She just had her 1 year anniversary. She's been down there for 1 year, practically held the title for the majority of the year that she's been there. She's obviously the veteran in NXT. It seems like she's really having a lot of fun helping the other girls, teaching the other girls. They all kind of talk about how Mandy Rhodes has a great hand in helping them, and she's really willing to help. And you know, you really kind of get that vibe from Mandy Rhodes. She does really seem like she is just this kind of down-to-earth person. You definitely kind of get that aura from a Mandy Rhodes. Like I said in the past, I'm all in with Mandy Rhodes. I've been all in with Mandy Rhodes since Absolution. Absolutely all in with Mandy Rhodes. Of course, I was their fan of the week. You see that on my set here, where you would have saw it on my set. But anyway, the only thing with Mandy is I wish she would just get like a standing finisher. You know, we did talk about this before. I know she has the bed of roses that she doesn't really use anymore. The knee is effective, but I just kind of feel like it's getting a little played out now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like she needs something else, or maybe, you know, rev up the knee from the corner or something. I just feel like Mandy Rhodes needs another finisher, something that just, when she does it, you're like, oh shit, it's over. You know what I'm saying? It's over. Because when she does that knee, it's a hit or miss. You know, they may or may not kick out, but she needs a move that when she hits it, she can kind of hit it out of nowhere. She can hit it on anybody. She can hit it quick. And when she hits it, you know it's over. She needs something like that. Mandy Rhodes needs a move like that. But congratulations to Mandy Rhodes on surpassing Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks and Bayley, all of the four horsewomen, on being the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion so far. She does have 3 or 4 more slots to go until she's longest reigning of all time. I'm not really sure if I see her breaking Shayna or Asuka's streak, but a boy can dream. A boy can dream. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. Speaking of Mandy's 1 year anniversary in NXT, Charlotte Flair just had her 9-year anniversary in WWE. 9 years of the Queen. Sit up straight, bend a knee. You know, the air gets real thin when the Queen comes around. You feel me? Real thin. The Queen actually shared my post for her 9-year anniversary. I was like the only story she made. You know, I was honored. I was absolutely fucking honored that the Queen graced me with her presence on the story again. It's been quite some time. We are waiting for you to return, Queen. Hopefully at SummerSlam, perhaps. Maybe, I don't know. I was really behind Charlotte returning at Money in the Bank and taking that 8th spot. That obviously didn't happen with Liv Morgan winning the Money in the Bank and cashing in. I could definitely see Charlotte Flair coming out at SummerSlam and costing Ronda the title and making Liv Morgan win. I think that would be a great way to have Liv Morgan beat Ronda Rousey, have Charlotte Flair come out, cause that distraction, and then you can go and have Charlotte and Ronda just feud without the title, because they don't even need a title for that feud. So then you can have the Charlotte and Ronda feud, then you can have another women's title feud, you know, just things of that nature, just so they can kind of get as many women on the card as possible, because there was some scutterbutt that there was frustration among the women's talent, that Vince was kind of pushing himself on camera more than he were putting the women on camera, especially after his scandal. There was just a lot of talk about that. Especially with a woman now being the new co-CEO, I could definitely see the women getting a lot more time. I would definitely like to see Charlotte Flair back at SummerSlam and cost Ronda Rousey that title. There's also been reports that Bayley may return at SummerSlam, so there may be a couple more surprises in store. And with this new regime coming on, I can definitely see maybe like a reboot coming after SummerSlam. I could definitely kind of see like a reboot coming. I hope we get new titles now that we have new management. I hope that Triple H brings back a lot of those signings that were gone and released. I just think there's a lot of potential we're just going to kind of ping pong here. Charlotte Flair, we're going to go on to her father, Ric Flair, having his last match. His opponents were announced as Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, with Ric Flair's tag team partner being Andrade El Idolor, Andrade Cien Almas, the husband of his daughter, Charlotte Flair, I'm really okay with this being a tag match. I was very much concerned about Ric Flair wrestling a full match. He's hell-bent about going off the top rope, and I really believe that if they'd never made Ric Flair retire, I genuinely believe that Ric Flair probably would have wrestled this whole fucking time if they didn't make him retire. I genuinely believe that he would have probably just wrestled as long as his body fucking let him. So I'm really okay with this being a tag match. Ric Flair is going into this match with an injury, some type of foot injury already. He's already hurt. He's already hurt and he's going into this match. So I'm definitely okay with this being a tag match. I definitely expect Andrade and Jay Lethal to kind of carry this match, do all the heavy lifting, the heavy bumping. I definitely see that happening, and then Jeff and Rick just kind of coming in and doing the spots that they're famous for. Cody Rhodes has won an Espy for his return at Wrestlemania. I believe it was for Moment of the Year 2022. Congratulations to Cody Rhodes on winning that Espy after jumping ship and coming over to the WWE. I want to just say that 2020 has probably been one of the craziest years of wrestling, period. This has been like one of the craziest years ever. Fucking Stone Cold had a match this year. Vince McMahon fucking retired. That still doesn't even feel real to say. Vince McMahon retired. Stephanie McMahon was interim CEO, chairman of the board, chairwoman of the board. Now she's co-CEO. There was 100 investigations opened up on Vince and John Laurinaitis. They're both gone from WWE. Triple H retires. Now he's the head of talent relations. There has just been a lot that has went on in the last year. A couple things, just jumping into this new regime quick, a couple things that I really want to see take place. Edge needs Judgment Day back immediately. We need new tag titles immediately. I would also like to see Karrion Kross and Scarlett return immediately. I would also like to see Bray Wyatt return immediately. Bray Wyatt did just his return, basically saying, "Start again, kid, it's what you do." Basically saying it like that's something Vince McMahon told him, or he was having a conversation with Vince or something like that, but he kind of quoted it like a Vince quote. So maybe he knew that Vince was retiring before he was retiring. There was also rumors a couple weeks ago that Vince was going to have a meeting with John Cena. So was Vince going to have that meeting with John Cena to tell him he was retiring? I did read yesterday, I believe, that this was kind of known to a tight-knit group of people as of last week, supposedly. So was that why he was going down to talk to John to tell him he was retiring? He clearly, obviously didn't have that conversation with Brock, because Brock basically was at SmackDown, and then he left and came back and basically said, if he's gone, I'm gone, and left SmackDown. And then I guess they worked it out and had him back by the end of the show. But this just leaves like so much in the air. If Brock Lesnar's pissed that Vince is gone, is he gone after SummerSlam? Is he just gonna finish SummerSlam because he's contractually obligated to? Or is he gonna stick it out? Like, did Vince call him and say, you just gotta do it for me, pal, it's already been advertised? Like, what is gonna take place with this? Is Sasha and Naomi gonna be returning now that Triple H is in the head of talent relations and things of that nature? I definitely see a lot of Triple H's signings come back. I definitely see a lot of people that were under Triple H coming back. Speaking of Sasha Banks' booking fee for appearances, not wrestling, appearances, is $30,000. $30,000 for Sasha Banks' appearance. And there's bookers literally saying that they're okay with paying her that because they know that they're going to make their money back. That is like a prime example of knowing your worth and turning the volume up 5. I'm not going to say Sasha's not worth $30,000. I definitely believe Sasha's worth a little something. $30,000 is quite a bit. But if you say your price is $30,000 and people want to book you bad enough, they are going to pay that $30,000. That is legitimately the epitome, the embodiment of knowing your fucking worth. She definitely knows her worth, obviously. She definitely has put her worth up on a pedestal, and as she should. As she fucking should. There were even some fans saying that, oh, she should charge more. Like, these younger fans on Twitter and shit, these 18, 19, 20-year-olds, like, people less than 24 that watch wrestling and they're on Twitter, for the most part, those people are fucking idiots. They're fucking idiots, these kids on Twitter. And then they believe everything Meltzer says, and fucking Shane Rapp, or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even know what his name is, but he just blocked me on Twitter because I said I don't believe dirt sheets. And then he screenshotted it that I was following him. But what the fuck does me following you have to do with me believing dirt sheets? What the fuck? You're not a dirt sheet. And I believe I actually followed you before you were a dirt sheet and had all this inside fucking scoop. But yeah, he blocked me because I kind of turned it around, and I thanked him for the subscribers. I do believe a couple of you subscribers came from there. I got some Twitter followers from there. So again, Shane, thank you so much for putting me on a little bit. I appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate the followers. Thank you. Stupid bitch, he blocked me. Jim Ross has been moved to Rampage in AEW, and they stated that they moved Jim Ross to Rampage because they wanted to try to get the views up. I think that's bullshit. I think they moved Jim Ross to I don't know why I keep saying moved him to AEW. I think they moved Jim Ross to Rampage because Rampage is a tape show, and when he calls them their WWE names, they can just edit it out and have him put the real name, or put the real name in place of what the fake name is supposed to be. He's called Ruby Riot instead of Ruby Soho. He calls Aleister Black instead of Malachi Black. Like, he's just he's calling people their WWE names. He's still calling Jack Swagger, and he's Hager now. So I really feel like they genuinely put him on Rampage so that they can censor him, they can edit him, because he's clearly, not cutting it on live TV. I'm not going to say he's not cutting it, but he's mixing up their names and shit. And it's clearly, obviously, becoming a problem. People on Twitter are saying, oh, remove him from commentary, and majority of these fucking versions, again, are in that little, 23 to 18 age group. I'm not going to say they're all idiots, but a good majority. I'll say a vast fucking majority. And the adults too. The adults too. There's a lot of fucking adult idiots out there too. Like, I'm not forgetting about y'all too, because y'all are fucking idiots too. The Street Profits need to split up. I would absolutely love if Angelo Dawkins turned on Montez Ford at SummerSlam and cost them the World Tag Team Championship. Because now you have Jeff Jarrett as the referee. Why the fuck is Jeff Jarrett the referee? I don't care about it being in Nashville, Tennessee. That's the only correlation you could have with Nashville is fucking Jeff Jarrett. That's fucking ridiculous. That makes no fucking sense to me. But Jeff Jarrett is the special guest referee, and he's supposedly gonna call it down the middle. So I really feel like, what other way can you put the titles on keep the titles on the Usos without having it, with calling it down the middle? What fair way can you keep the titles on the Usos? Calling it down the middle. You don't want them to just beat them, because they keep just beating them. They're beating every fucking body. There needs to be some type of swerve in this. I do not want to see a clean finish. I need to see some type of swerve in Usos and Street Profits. I need Angelo Dawkins to turn. I need him to turn. And he recently did an interview, and he was basically saying how it's basically starting to frustrate him that people think that he can't go and he's just kind of the weak link of the Street Profits. And after I listened to that interview that he did, I immediately thought, like, you can use this to turn heel. That is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to use that as motivation. They need to use that as motivation to turn him heel. And he can turn heel on Montez with the intent of, they think I'm the weak link and they think you're the star. Let me beat your ass because you're not the fucking star. You know what I'm saying? Like, something like that. Like, they absolutely need to do something like that. Logan Paul signs with WWE. The YouTuber has signed with WWE. The only reason I'm okay with Logan Paul signing to WWE, for one, is his WrestleMania performance was absolutely amazing. He absolutely killed it at WrestleMania. I will say that about Logan Paul. He surprised the shit out of me. I was there live, obviously. He surprised the shit out of me. I was very surprised at what he did in the ring. The only other reason that I'm okay with them signing Logan Paul is because he is paving the way for YouTubers to get into WWE. And as a YouTuber with a dream of working at the WWE, he is paving the way for me right now. He is crawling so we can walk. So for that, Logan Paul, I appreciate you. But all of that aside, why the fuck is he here? Why is he here? All of that aside, why the fuck are you here facing The Miz? And you notice how they always give The Miz these celebrities because he's really the only one that can like really carry them and make them look good. Miz needs some credit too. Miz needs some credit too. They always give Miz these celebrity matches because they know he's not going to hurt them. They know that he's not going to get hurt. And they know that he's going to make them look like a fucking star. So shout out to the fucking Miz. I can definitely see Logan Paul beating The Miz at SummerSlam. I hope not, but I could definitely see it. There's been these new Raw vignettes, and I assume that they're for Edge, but there's been a suspicious post that popped up, and it said, "I'm coming too," which kind of makes people think that maybe it's Bray Wyatt. I really do hope that these vignettes are for Bray Wyatt and not Edge. There have been reports that Edge may be going back to his "You Think You Know Me" gimmick, the Rated R Superstar. While I do love the Rated R Superstar, nothing does it for me like heel Edge. When heel Edge is sitting on the bottom turnbuckle, pulling his hair out from the fucking root, and he's just obsessed and he's upset. That is the best Edge for me. I don't like the pandering to the crowd and the fireworks and all that shit. Yeah, that's cool and everything, but I love heel Edge, heel 2006, Rated R Superstar, live sex celebration, WWE Champion Edge. We need that Edge. We need to keep that Edge. Hopefully with Vince being gone now, I hope they give Judgment Day back to Edge instead of Finn Balor. I hope they kind of like turn this around, because I guess Vince wanted it to be like some type of supernatural group, and now this group has done supernatural nothing. They've done absolutely nothing. Of course, Rhea Ripley has been having some health issues. She was actually on a heart murmur not long ago. She uploaded a picture with a heart murmur, but she has been working out really hard in the gym. So there is speculation that she should be coming back at any time. We definitely wish Rhea the best with any injury or heart problems that she may be having. We definitely hope that she's back soon in the near future. But Edge definitely needs Judgment Day back. Since Finn Balor has taken over Judgment Day, it just doesn't have the same feel. I don't like that they took the "You Think You Know Me, You Never Did" out the beginning of the theme song. Like, it just doesn't have the same feel. And I was kind of trying to be optimistic when they first gave Balor the Judgment Day. I was just kind of, trying to let it play out and kind of was excited for that. I do believe I talked about being excited for that on here, but it's been like a complete letdown. And I don't know if that's because of Rhea's injury or just because they don't know what the fuck they want to do. But I definitely hope that they give Judgment Day back to Edge immediately. This coming Monday Night Raw, it is 20 years of Rey Mysterio, the celebration, I believe they were calling it. And they're really building this up as 20 years of Rey Mysterio, and they're going to have him do this big celebration and everything like that. I think at the celebration, Dominic is going to turn heel. Dominic is going to turn heel at the celebration. They're already teasing it with having him join Judgment Day. He already agreed to do it after Judgment Day. We're like going to attack his dad or something like that. Dominic is turning on his dad at this celebration. Please mark my words. If it doesn't happen, I will be shocked. Like, shocked. I will be fucking shocked if he doesn't turn on his dad. But I can definitely 100% see Dominic turning on his dad at that celebration in Madison Square Garden. I'm usually not a fan of Becky Lynch's promos, but this unhinged Becky Lynch has been absolutely killing it for me. I'm usually not a fan of how she comes out and she stutters over every other word, and it's, I just don't understand. I hate the way she promos. But this new unhinged Becky Lynch, where she is just deranged because she wants her title and she feels like she's being held down, and it kind of gives me like Sami Zayn conspiracy against me vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really enjoy this heel Becky Lynch, this give me my title shot, you're robbing me, you're stealing everything from me, why not me, why me. I'm really enjoying this new Becky Lynch. WWE was supposed to be going back to TV 14. They did announce that they'd be going back TV 14, or somebody announced that they'd be going TV 14, and then later on that day announced that they would not be going to TV 14, and I guess they got cold feet. Originally, I thought that they were saying that they weren't going to go to TV 14 was because I personally felt like they had a Vince storyline for the TV 14, and maybe they felt like it was just going to go too far or something, and then they decided to not go TV 14. But if Vince didn't retire and WWE went TV 14, I definitely feel like we would have gotten like a full, I'm not going to say like a full return, but I definitely feel like the Mr. McMahon character would have came more into play. He would have definitely came more into play in a TV 14 environment had he not retired, had they went TV 14 before he retired. He would have definitely played a role in this WWE TV 14, and you can't tell me he wouldn't. I was almost a little skeptical even when they were saying, oh, Vince is out of creative control and all of those things like that. The only thing that really confirmed for me that Vince was out of creative power is when Stephanie came out and she did the thank you Vince chant, and she looked in the camera and said, I love you, Dad. That was really what solidified it for me, because Vince does not do that thank you shit on camera, like, at all. That is not something he enjoys. They won't let him put him in the Hall of Fame. Like, that is not something you can do. Like, even with your Hall of Fame speeches, they always tell you, like, oh, don't thank Vince. Like, he doesn't like to be thanked on camera. So for Stephanie to come out and lead a whole thank you Vince chant, it solidified it for me right there that he's not in charge and he's not there. And it just really kind of made it real for me that he's not there. And I know people were making a big deal out of Stephanie coming out and starting a thank you Vince chant. You all have to realize, especially you fucking reporters, you all wouldn't have fucking jobs without Vince. I wouldn't be sitting here doing a wrestling podcast without Vince. All of you people that like AEW, half of AEW's talent came from Vince. And I know a lot of you like to say, oh, well, if they were in ROH and TNA and New Japan, they're not WWE guys, they're ROH and TNA and New Japan guys. If I didn't know you until WWE, Cesaro, Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, I almost said Samoa Joe. I knew Samoa Joe from TNA. But people like that, you are a WWE guy. And Daniel Bryan is one of my favorite wrestlers in my top 5. But he is a WWE guy to me. I guess it just kind of all depends on how you met these people. AJ Styles is not a WWE guy. I wouldn't consider him a ROH guy either, though. I don't even know if he was in ROH. But AJ Styles is a TNA guy. Samoa Joe is a TNA guy for me because that's how I met him. So maybe it just kind of depends on how you meet them. But whatever company I meet you in, that is what guy you are. If I met you in WWE, you're a WWE guy. If I met you in TNA, you're a TNA guy. If I met you in ROH, you're an ROH guy. You know what I'm saying? WWE just happens to be the bigger one. But people like Robert Roode, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, those are all TNA guys. James Storm, Petey Williams, all TNA guys. You know what I'm saying? Those are all TNA guys. I just wanted to break that down because people love saying, oh, they're not WWE guys. Yeah, they fucking are. Speaking of WWE guys, Chris Jericho just had a barbed wire match. Oh, well, I guess Chris Jericho would be a WCW guy. I wasn't really born, but I know about his history in WCW. Chris Jericho will be a WCW guy. Fuck it. But Chris Jericho nonetheless. Chris Jericho did just face Eddie Kingston in a barbed wire match this past Wednesday. And I'm not really sure who the death match, barbed wire match, like I'm not really sure which audience that's catered to. All I know is that I'm not a part of the audience. Like, I don't know what their target audience is, but I'm not a part of it. I do not enjoy the death matches. I do not enjoy the barbed wire matches. It's really too much for me. There's like some points where I'm even like watching through my hands, or like my mouth is just hanging fucking open because I can't believe what the fuck I just watched. Like, I don't know what the fucking audience, who their target audience is. I don't know who their target audience is, but I am not a part of their target audience. Shout out to WWE Class at the Castle. Sold 60,000 tickets out of 72,000 tickets with absolutely no matches announced. They did announce Drew versus Roman Reigns 100 years ago, and now they're having Drew fight Sheamus for the #1 contender spot, like they didn't announce Drew versus Roman 100 years ago. But nonetheless, they have sold 60,000 tickets. The tickets are astronomically high, and that hasn't stopped them from selling, and there's been no matches announced yet. So once this card really starts filling up, just imagine, you know, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a sold out event across the pond in the UK. This is 100% going to be a sold out event. And congratulations to them. They deserve a pay-per-view. The UK is always so loud and so proud to be like with the wrestlers and in front of the wrestlers. They are always such a really good crowd. So I'm really happy that they're finally getting a pay-per-view. Hopefully next we can get a pay-per-view in Canada. They're also a really good crowd. Heel Christian. Can we just talk about Heel Christian for a second? Heel Christian is just on another level. I would almost love to see a heel Christian manage a heel Edge. I don't think heel Christian could do what he's doing now in WWE, because the shit that he is saying on the microphone to people is insane. Telling Jungle Boy's parents they raised a crock of shit, like, it's insane. This shit that Christian is doing insane to these people, and he is just doing it so calmly and so relentlessly, and you just kind of gotta sit there and fucking take it. Like, it is wild. Christian is really doing some of his best mic work right now, like legitimately, hands down, doing some of his best mic work. Am I the only one that is getting a little tired of Matt Riddle doing Randy Orton's moves? Like, I feel like it would be cool every now and again, but I feel like it's just becoming too much. He does the RKO in every move. Like, I forgot that he even has like a bro mission and whatever the fuck his other move is. I'm just really kind of tired of him doing all of Randy's moves. I know that he's kind of trying to keep Randy Orton's name alive. You don't need to do that. Randy Orton is fucking Randy Orton. You don't need to keep doing his moves so that we remember who he is, or we remember that he's away, or we remember that you're tag team partners. You don't need to do that. We remember all of that. I would very much like Matt Riddle to go back to using his regular fucking moves, and also back to using his first name. Matt Riddle needs his first name back. Austin Theory needs his first name back, because I'm still calling these people these names, but he needs to go back to using his moves. I'm tired of him doing the RKO and the punt kick and the fucking the rope DDT. Stop it. Fucking stop it. I'm over it. He needs to save those for like big matches, like when he wants to RKO somebody off a ladder or something like that. He needs to save it for shit like that. But just doing RKOs every Monday, every Friday, it's too much. It's too much. The WWE Universe was in a uproar about Alexa Bliss winning the 24/7 championship, basically saying that, I seen somebody on Twitter saying that her rise and fall needs to be documented. Like, y'all need to chill. Y'all need to chill. First of all, the 24/7 title, of course, it is a joke title. But if they were to try to make this into a serious title, the way that you would make that into a serious title is make people that you care about win the title. If they really want to make the 24/7 title a serious title, I would give the title to somebody like an Alexa Bliss, somebody like a Becky Lynch, somebody with a name already so that they can make the title. So, and then when somebody beats them for the title, it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't have had it in the first place, but now them being, I don't know, nowadays everybody would just be like, oh, she's buried. It's such a hit or miss. It's such a hit or miss, but there could really be some positivity in having a big name win a littler title like the 24/7 title to elevate the title. Like they did with John Cena winning the United States Championship, and then John Cena was doing the United States Open challenges every week. You know, when you want people to care about a title, you make somebody that they care about win the title. I'm not saying that that's what they're doing with the 24 title. I'm not saying that that's what they should do with the 24 title. But in order for us to care about the title, they have to put the title on people we care about. And clearly it worked because Twitter was on fire. And I don't think y'all realize that any reaction is a reaction, whether it's a good or a bad reaction. The worst thing that y'all could do is ignore it. If you don't talk about it, they won't do it. But the more you complain about it, the more you're gonna see it. You think because you complain about Austin Theory every week he's gonna go away? Shouldn't that have taught you with Baron Corbin? Everybody hated Baron Corbin. Everybody still hates Baron Corbin. People have been complaining about Baron Corbin since NXT. He ain't went no fucking where. People were saying, oh, Baron Corbin has go away heat. He has go away heat and he ain't went away. The best thing that y'all could do is just fucking ignore the shit you don't like, and that'll give it a better chance of going away than complaining about it on a weekly basis, because again, any reaction is a reaction. John Cena will not be facing Austin Theory at SummerSlam because he will be filming the second Peacemaker. I believe he's already filming the second Peacemaker, so he will not be facing Austin Theory. Although I do remember reading or hearing that Cena had cleared his schedule to return to WWE, which is another reason why you can't believe everything you fucking read on dirt sheets, because they legitimately said Cena cleared his schedule to return. But clearly John Cena didn't clear his schedule to return because he's filming Peacemaker number 2. Somebody that has cleared their schedule to return and is just sitting there waiting for a callback is Goldberg. Goldberg stated that he is still waiting for WWE to give him a call. I believe he is open to signing a new contract or has signed a new contract or something of that nature. I don't know. I just know that he said that he's waiting on WWE to call. And just like most people, I'm praying to God that they don't call. We don't need them to call you, Goldberg. You have come and done your due deals. You have come and done everything that you were supposed to do. Thank you so much. You know, if you weren't such a dick in 2003, maybe you wouldn't have this bug to kind of get all these matches out that you should have had, you know, over the last 15 years. But you kind of missed your mark. You know, we kind of don't care anymore. I'm definitely over Goldberg. I definitely don't want to see Goldberg in any capacity. Maybe bring him back as like a general manager or something. I don't want to see him wrestling. I don't want to see him in Saudi Arabia. I don't want to see him in a title match. I'm over it. I don't want to see any of that shit. I don't want to see any of it. So I understand that he's waiting for a call. I say let him fucking wait. Just let him fucking wait. It has also been reported that Kenny Omega is set to return sometime this summer. They are stating that summer plans were already changed to try to get Kenny Omega inserted into plans. I believe that they're stating that he will be doing some type of 6-man tag team match, and you can only assume that it'll be Kenny and the Bucks versus the All Elite Era, or whatever the fuck their name is. The Attitude Era, what the fuck was their name? Undisputed Era. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be Kenny Omega and the Bucks versus the Undisputed Era, All Elite Era, whatever the fuck their name is now. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be those 6. And that'll be kind of an interesting story to see how they build that up. But I can definitely see them doing that at All Out in September. In Chicago. We are slowing down here and getting down to our last couple topics here. let's just kind of run through these. Jericho has broken his nose in that barbed wire match against Eddie Kingston. So fucking stupid. Kevin Gates laid a sucker punch into Tony Nese this past Wednesday on AEW. Jermaine Dupri came out with Jade Cargill. Jordan Devlin is now JT or JD I'm not saying his last name, but Jordan Devlin is now JD. And I know that there's a lot of people complaining about the name change. I don't really care about name changes, honestly. As long as like they don't change the look too much and they don't like alter what they do in the ring too much, I don't care about the name change because it's still the same wrestler regardless of whatever name it is. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, wrestlers aren't wrestling under their real names anyway. So I don't care when wrestlers get their name changed. It's not really that big of a deal to me. I know people always kind of cry about it. It's never really been a big deal to me. Santana Ortiz announced that he would be injured for the next 8 months. I believe it was Chris Jericho that actually announced that. So he'll be sitting next to Jericho on the injury list. Sami Zayn in WWE News is also injured, dealing with some type of slight injury. Sami Zayn will also be on the Austin Broken Skull podcast on Peacock. I have not watched that yet, but make sure you all check out that Austin podcast. I am heavily considering doing the Big Four, completing the Big Four in November, going to Survivor Series. I am heavily considering going to Survivor Series just so that I can complete the Big Four in 1 year. That's really fucking unheard of for a fan to complete the Big Four in 1 year out of pocket. So I'm definitely trying to get this done. It is definitely on my goal list. We'll definitely figure it out after I get moved. Big E update. Big E does not need surgery. Big E is healing up nicely. He has been announced as like a recruitment coach or something like that. I believe they're doing like tryouts at SummerSlam or something. And I know he was hired to be a part of that in some way, form, or fashion. But it does look like things are looking up for Big E. Shout out to him. We definitely hope that Big E is having a speedy recovery. Congratulations to Bobby Lashley on winning the United States Championship. Hopefully he can go ahead and elevate that title. Also, another congratulations to Walter Gunther on winning the Intercontinental Championship and really kind of elevating that title as well. I can definitely see Walter elevating the shit out of that Intercontinental Championship, especially with Triple H and Stephanie and Nick Khan in charge. And I believe Bruce Pritchard is now the new head of creative. Bruce Pritchard has put together some really good storylines and some really bad storylines. So it'll be very interesting to see how he does as the new head of creative, but I definitely don't think that they'll be doing Walter wrong. And then lastly, before I get out of here, and I've been crying about this every single fucking week, can we please get Impact on a new channel? Like, pretty please. What do we have to do to get Impact on a new channel? Do I have to start a petition? Like, what do I have to do to get Impact on a new channel? We need Impact back on Spike. We need Impact doing better because Impact should be doing way more than it's doing right now. Ms. and Mrs. gets more views on a weekly basis than TNA Impact does. That is an issue. That is an issue. I was also going to talk about Tony Khan's comments on Vince McMahon's return, but I'm not even going to fucking acknowledge him. I'm not even going to acknowledge him whatsoever. That is all I have for this episode. Make sure you all go ahead and hit those follow buttons on the Twitter and the Instagram. They are both Dane Don, DAMEDONN on the Twitter and the Instagram. Make sure you all give me a follow. Let me know you follow me from the podcast or whatever. We will have our 1 year anniversary on the 28th of this week, of this month. The 28th of July, we will have our 1 year anniversary. 1 year ago, we started the Common Sense and Common podcast. That is so fucking crazy. That is so crazy. We will definitely be live in studio. I'll try to get my phone figured out or whatever the fuck is going on with this phone. I'll try to get that taken care of. by the live in studio episode for our 1 year anniversary. I definitely appreciate you all for listening to me. I hope you still there. You better still be there, motherfucker. You better still be there. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you all later this week. Deuces.